Well, 6 days since flight MH370 took off, and we still don't know what became of it. Firm information is still very hard to come by. It was due to arrive in Beijing, didn't arrive there. Air traffic controllers lost control at about 1:30. Then on Wednesday, we had these satellite images suggesting debris may possibly have been found. Let me show you those pictures now. These are the pictures released by the Chinese. Interest in 3 large floating objects, one of which you can see is being highlighted by that arrow. Well, that was the point at which the Chinese and the Malaysians started to go their separate ways. This is Malaysia's Transport Minister talking about these issues. Let me just pull this up for you.
On the Chinese satellite imagery, a Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency surveillance plane was dispatched this morning to investigate potential debris shown on Chinese satellite images. We deployed our assets but found nothing. We have contacted the Chinese embassy, who notified us this afternoon that the images were released by mistake and did not show any debris from MH370.
So that's the Malaysian perspective. Beijing, for its part, is complaining about confusing information. And now the Chinese premier says he wants more international cooperation. Let me show you this.
It is an international, large-scale search operation involving many countries. The Chinese government has urged the relevant sides to enhance coordination and to locate the missing plane as soon as possible and properly handle the relevant issues.
Well, let's talk with Yuan Wu, Chinese specialist with BBC World Service, because it seems, though everyone is being quite cautious about this, there's a diplomatic row brewing here.
Yes, I've just looked at the CCTV's website citing the official Weibo account of People's Daily. They didn't respond to Malaysian statement directly, but the Weibo account says in order to verify the images of debris taken by the satellites in the South China Sea, China will send its own ship to the area and it should arrive around 9 o'clock tonight,
so let's be
local
clear.
time.
This is the area the Malaysians say you don't need to look, but the Chinese are going anyway.
Yes, they are going anyway. And what's more, the same post says that China will release another satellite image taken by 2 other satellites. So they're not certainly giving up on this.
So are we actually looking at a situation where we could have 2 separate search operations with different goals being organised by 2 different countries?
Well, China always wanted Malaysia to take the lead because it's their airline, it's their flight. But in this under the situation China is now, because they took an initiative to release the images, thinking that they would help the rescue mission. Now that they are in dispute, I think China felt that they just have to go and verify for themselves.
I was talking on Outside Source Radio earlier with a Chinese blogger about the big national congress which has been happening in China, but he was saying actually a lot of young people haven't been focusing on that story. They've been focusing on this one.
Absolutely. The parliament session was completely overshadowed by the news of the missing flight, and people are still tweeting on social media websites. A lot of praying going on still, hoping for miracles. A bit of complaint about how Malaysia government has handled the situation, and also praise for Vietnam, because a Chinese web user was saying, you know, they didn't have any passengers on board, but look at how they mobilized their forces to search for the missing plane. So they were quite impressed by that, and other practical matters like how to volunteer to provide help for the relatives of the passengers.